And now to this. One high school science teacher near Seattle, Washington, stops his class lesson on magnets to go on an anti-police rant about Kyle Rittenhouse. Listen to this.
For me, what's the most appalling thing about this is he ran toward the police with his hands up with a weapon right here, and the police did this. They waved him through. Seriously. If he was black, would he have been waved through? No way. Put your hand down. It's my turn. Okay?
By the way, that's the teacher saying, put your hand down. So the class isn't even allowed to respond to that. Jason Rantz joining me now. Jason, why is a science teacher talking to teenagers about this and telling students not to respond to what he says?
Because in this school district, like so many others across the country, they've decided to embrace the idea that teachers should be getting into political discussions. Now, this guy's name is Kevin McDonald. He's over at Bothell High School, just north of Seattle. And I think you're right. I mean, this whole idea of put your hand down, it's my turn. But you don't get a turn. You're holding these kids captive. You're indicating, frankly, that they better not say anything you disagree with, or you might get on his bad side. We got to take politics out of the classroom, not bring it in. Remember, this is a science class on top of everything else. I think, when you get to a certain grade level, it's certainly appropriate in certain circumstances to have conversations about current events. I don't think that should be verboten, but I do think that when you are telling kids that they don't get a say, and you're giving them your opinion rather than having an open discussion about what's going on and encouraging people to disagree and have, civil debates, I think you're going too far. And I think he went too far, which is why the school district is investigating. I don't think anything's going to come of it, but they are taking this seriously, so they say.
Well, Jason, one of the only positive things about the pandemic is it has revealed, the curtain has been pulled back on what's happening in classrooms because of all the remote learning. This obviously happened in a classroom, but are enough students alerted to what's been happening? I mean, even those who haven't been converted into radicalism by their teachers, that obviously somebody recorded what this teacher said. He didn't present that tape. So, I mean, it's hard to keep these things secret anymore. The classroom is open for all to see now, and that's, I think, good news, no?
Oh, I totally agree with that. And I think it just reinforces the importance of having conversations with your kids. At one point before COVID, before everyone realized what was going on inside the classroom, I imagine some kids maybe said, my teacher said X, Y, and Z. And the parent might say, okay, I'm sure you got a little mixed up. That's a little too crazy. Of course, your teacher's not going to say that. But now that these conservative parents got woke, it's a different kind of woke, but they realize now what's going on in the classroom, they're saying, hey,
it's crazier than we feared.
Happening?
It's even worse than what we feared it would be.
Exactly.
All right, I want to move on.
But the kids are now feeling comfortable recording it.
Jason, to the issue of crime itself, which the teacher was talking about, but it's really serious in Seattle. There's a police shortage, and it's not only the public safety issue in the city. Their 911 call center is also facing a staffing crisis. So why would anybody move to visit Seattle even? I mean, you can't be safe walking the streets.
Yeah, it is getting really just dangerous, frankly. The 911 call center is down 51% of its call takers, 19% of the dispatchers, and 36% down on floor operations staff. And so that means some calls aren't actually getting picked up for some 40 seconds. And think about what that means if you're calling because, let's say, your father is having a heart attack and you are desperate to get help. Well, every second counts. When someone's breaking into your home and you're calling 911, think about that extra 40 seconds it might take to get someone just to pick up the phone as the person's in your house. And then on top of that, because of the staffing shortage within the SPD, it's going to take at least 8 minutes for them to get to that emergency. That's a recipe for disaster.
Jason, what about businesses? They've been through so much, from the lockdowns to the crime, et cetera, all this stuff. Are they fleeing Seattle, moving to Texas or elsewhere?
A lot of businesses are doing it quietly. Some are doing it loudly, but they're definitely moving outside of Seattle. Some of them are going across the bridge to Bellevue, so they're going only about 15 minutes away. But different city, completely different outlook, not just on public safety, but on how it treats business. The council, Seattle City Council, is going through a little bit of a change. We ended up seeing not a conservative, but a reasonable, business-friendly Democrat get onto the council. And most importantly, in the Seattle City Attorney's race, we saw an abolitionist be defeated, who frankly said, I'm not going to prosecute most misdemeanor crimes. A big test is going to happen on Tuesday of next week when arguably the nation's loudest council socialist is up for re-election, or excuse me, she's up for a recall.
Okay.
So we'll see if her district ends up kicking her out.
Well, we will be watching. Jason, thank you so much
crossed.
for being here and for the work you do. We appreciate it.